Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Coding for Kids. So let's continue where we left off last time. Last time we learned what an int was, what a string was, and what a bool was, and the if-else statement. Today we're going to expand on that. We're going to do arrays and the while loop. So let's get into it. Okay, so first off we're going to do arrays. And what an array is, it is a bunch of ints, strings, or bools put into one object or into one name. So see here how we had int age equals 40. If you wanted to have multiple ages and you wanted to carry them around the program in one name, you could have an age array. If you wanted to have a bunch of names, like for strings, you could have a bunch of names and carry names around. Or if you want to have a bunch of bools, different bools, you could do that as well. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to use a string. And the way you do that is you do string. So just after the end of our code, just hit enter a couple times. So just go to the end of the last line, like right here, and hit enter and create a couple of spaces. And then we'll do string. And now instead of hitting space and putting the name of the variable, what we want to name it, you put these open, close boxes. And that's what tells it, the program, that it's an array. And then we could give it a name. And this one we're going to name weapons, because in our game we're going to have weapons. And so we're going to call weapons. Then we're going to say equals. And then we're going to go new string, and then the open close boxes again. Now in this last box right here, you put how many spots you want to have under weapons. So we want to have 3. Okay, so what we've done here was saying we want a string array, we want to call it weapons, and then we create a new array. So we say it equals a new empty array, and we're going to have 3 spots in this array. And the way you set each spot is you take weapons, and you go to the next line. You do an open close box. Now it always starts at 0. So if we have 3 spots available, you're going to have position 0, position 1, and position 2. Okay, so that's important to know. So in position 0, our first weapon is going to be a string, so we put quotations, and we're going to call that X. All right, and then we're going to copy and paste this down here, and we're going to do position 1, position 2, and the second weapon is going to be a gun. And the third position is going to be a sword. And then underneath all that, we're going to take console write line. We're going to go, my weapon is, and this is going to show you how to use that array. And quotations to close the string, and then close parentheses, parentheses to close the right line, and then a semicolon to end the line. And then in here we're going to take weapon 0. All right, now if we run this code, it's going to say all of this, and it'll say my weapon is axe. So if you see that, it says axe, and that's because it's weapon 0. If we change this to 2, it's going to be sword. So if we run it again, now it says my weapon is sword. Okay, and if we change it to 1, it's going to be gun. See, my weapon is gun. All right, and if you put a number in there that's not in the array, let's see what happens. Oh, it breaks. So just remember, it starts at 0 always. So if you put 4 in here, you're going to have 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay? And if you put the wrong number in, you're going to get an error. It says, look, it's out of range. We don't have a 3 spot. We only have a 0, 1, 2. Okay? All right, so that's an array. And then after that, we can use something called console.clear. And guess what that does? It clears the console. So everything we wrote before it, if I run this, it's going to print it and then it's going to clear it. Oh, well, first let's fix this error, right? Let's put this back. Put it to 1. See, there's nothing there because we cleared the console. Okay? All right. Now I'm gonna show you how to do a while loop. So to do a while loop, you do while, and then we do open parenthesis, close parenthesis, true, close parenthesis, and then we do curly bracket, curly bracket. And what a while loop does is anything that's inside these brackets, these curly brackets, it's just going to continually loop them over and over and over again. And it'll never end until it runs out of memory, which is bad. But the reason we do that is because what we're going to add inside this is a key press. So every time you press a key, it's going to go, okay, you entered this key. And then I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay? And then it's going to ask again and again and again. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. All right. So, and guess what this is? This is a bool, right? So, yeah. So just remember, inside a while loop, inside the parentheses, you put a bool. And as long as this is true, it's going to continue to loop. If you put false in here, it won't loop. Okay? All right. So it's true. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do console write line. Dot write line. And it's very important to remember, see how these is capital C, this is capital W, capital L, here is a lowercase w. So casing in C# is very important. So you have to make sure that you're getting your casing right and your periods right and things like that. Okay? Okay, now in here we're going to say, please enter a key. And then straight after it, we're going to do string key equals, I'm going to do console. Now this is a new method that you guys don't know. Read key, and do dot, key char, dot, to string. Okay, and then after that, we're just going to do console write line. This is just going to give us an empty line. And I'm going to copy this. I'm going to do one more line. And all it's going to say is, I'm going to put a $sign because we're going to enter a variable into the string. And we're going to say, you entered, and then we're just going to put the key that you entered. Okay, so now if we run this, it's going to do all this. It's going to clear the console so we see nothing. It's going to go into this while loop forever. And it's going to go, please enter a key. And then when it gets to this point, it's going to wait. And it's going to say, this code here says, I'm going to wait for you to enter a key on the keyboard. And then once you enter a key, it's going to take that and put it inside key. And then we're going to write an empty line just so we get a space. And then it's going to say, you entered key. You entered whatever key we push. So let's test it out. See if it works. Okay, so if you have a look, it says, please enter a key. I'm going to push D. Look, you entered D. And then look, it went abound again, around and around and around. And it went, please enter a key, because it went back to this line right here. And if we push another key, it just keeps going around and around and around. But look, it's getting input from the keyboard. And this is what we're going to use to be able to move your player around the map. So this is why this is important. And that'll do it for this episode. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you at the next one.